Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something that may unsettle you deeply. What if everything you believe about aging, family, and security is wrong? What if the very thing you rely on for comfort in your later years, staying close to your children, actually leaves you more vulnerable, more isolated, and ultimately more resentful? Imagine a life built on the assumption that proximity equals protection, that being near your children guarantees love and support. Yet, as you grow older, you may begin to sense a disquieting truth. The closer you get, the more you risk undermining your own dignity. In today's talk, I will explore the hidden dynamics that come into play when you cling too tightly to what you once thought was a source of safety. We'll examine in detail 4 kinds of people and environments you must avoid if you wish to preserve your peace, your integrity, and your future. The illusion of proximity and the false promise of family. There's a deeply ingrained notion that as we age, we must retreat into the safety of our family, that our children will inevitably be there to care for us. We are taught to believe that the bonds forged in our youth are unbreakable, that love and support are guaranteed by mere physical closeness. Yet, as time wears on, reality often paints a starkly different picture. Physical closeness, contrary to popular belief, does not automatically ensure emotional connection. In fact, it can sometimes create an undercurrent of tension that erodes the very bonds we hold dear. When parents move closer to their children with the expectation that shared geography will naturally foster a stronger relationship, they may be met instead with a cool familiarity, a sense that their presence has become routine. The once cherished moments of intimate connection may, over time, be replaced by obligatory check-ins and perfunctory greetings. Consider for a moment the natural evolution of a parent-child relationship. In childhood, parents are the central figures, the nurturers, the protectors, the constant sources of guidance. But as children mature into independent adults, their lives become filled with their own responsibilities, dreams, and challenges. Their identities begin to blossom outside the confines of the family unit, and the dynamics of care shift accordingly. When elderly parents expect that their children will always welcome them with the same open-heartedness of the past, they risk misunderstanding the process of individuation. Proximity might give the illusion of closeness, but if it morphs into a sense of entitlement or unspoken obligation, the warmth of familial connection can quickly turn into a heavy burden. In such cases, what was once a safe haven may inadvertently become a source of stress and resentment. Furthermore, the assumption that physical closeness will naturally translate to emotional intimacy is fraught with pitfalls. Many times, the adult child may feel that their parents' constant presence undermines their newfound independence. The natural space that should allow both parties to grow and evolve may instead become cluttered with expectations and unspoken demands. This tension can lead to situations where instead of feeling cherished, the parent is seen as a reminder of duty, a role that over time may breed resentment on both sides. The key, therefore, is to understand that closeness is not synonymous with connection and that dependence, if unchecked, can erode the dignity of both parent and child. The shift from dependency to dignity. In our earlier years, it is almost instinctual to believe that relying on our children as we grow older is not only natural but a sign of familial love. After decades of pouring our love, energy, and sacrifices into raising them, we expect that our children will become our pillars of support in our twilight years. Yet, the truth is more complicated. Such reliance can paradoxically lead to a gradual erosion of your dignity. As you depend more on your children, whether for emotional support, physical assistance, or even for day-to-day companionship, you might begin to lose sight of your own independence. This dependency, while sometimes unavoidable, should never become the central pillar of your identity. Imagine the small yet cumulative acts of reliance, asking for rides instead of driving yourself, depending on your children for household chores, or seeking their validation before making personal decisions. Individually, these actions might seem harmless or even necessary. Over time, however, they add up. They create a narrative where you are seen less as an individual capable of self-care and more as a burden that your children must shoulder. This shift is particularly insidious because it often happens gradually, almost imperceptibly, until you find that the once vibrant sense of autonomy has been quietly stripped away. When you start to feel that your independence is being compromised, you must recognize that maintaining your dignity requires reclaiming control over your life. Dignity in old age is about preserving your sense of self-worth and the autonomy that you fought so hard to maintain throughout your life. It means understanding that while family is important, your value does not diminish as you age. It transforms and grows richer with experience. Your self-respect is not something to be bartered for constant attention or assistance. It is an intrinsic quality that must be honored by both yourself and those around you. When you rely too heavily on your children, you risk creating a dynamic where they begin to see you as an obligation rather than as an individual with a rich inner life. This is not about rejecting family or love. It's about recognizing that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and independence, not on a perpetual cycle of dependency. Protecting your dignity means setting boundaries that allow you to live fully, with the freedom to pursue your own interests and maintain your unique identity. 3. The danger of over-involvement, shifting dynamics and hidden expectations. When you choose to live close to your children, there is often an unspoken assumption that your relationship will naturally deepen, that shared space will lead to shared experiences, and that every visit will be filled with genuine warmth. However, this assumption can be dangerous, because it often creates an environment in which both parties begin to feel trapped by unspoken expectations. The more available you become, the more likely it is that your presence will be taken for granted, turning cherished moments into routine obligations. For many parents, the dream is that living near their children will lead to a permanent warm bond, a seamless blending of lives that reinforces love and support. But in reality, constant proximity can sometimes blur the lines between genuine connection and enforced dependency. When your children see you every day, your interactions can lose their special intentional quality, morphing instead into obligatory routines that feel more like chores than genuine expressions of affection. There is also the risk that as roles reverse, your children may begin to view you not as a source of wisdom and guidance, but as a dependent who requires constant care. This unintentional role reversal can be particularly painful, as it forces you into a position of vulnerability and diminishes the authority you once held. When your children take on the role of caretakers, the relationship can shift dramatically from one of mutual respect and affection to one burdened by a sense of duty and obligation. Moreover, this over-involvement can have far-reaching effects beyond just your relationship with your children. For example, in families where parents live in close proximity, there may be an expectation, sometimes explicit, sometimes merely implied, that you will always be available for assistance, whether it is for babysitting, household tasks, or even financial support. Such expectations can strain the relationship as the child, even if they love you dearly, may begin to feel overwhelmed by the constant pressure to provide care. This can lead to resentment on both sides, where the parent feels neglected and the child feels burdened, creating a cycle of unspoken tension and emotional withdrawal. Furthermore, when your presence becomes synonymous with obligation rather than genuine connection, the quality of your interactions suffers. Instead of engaging in meaningful, joyful exchanges, conversations may become tinged with an undercurrent of duty and regret. The beauty of a relationship lies in its spontaneity and its ability to grow organically, not in the relentless fulfillment of expectations that feel imposed rather than chosen. Thus, it is crucial to recognize that closeness should not come at the cost of individual freedom and mutual respect. The solution lies in cultivating a balance, maintaining a close relationship with your children, while also preserving the space needed for each of you to grow independently. By setting clear boundaries and allowing for the natural evolution of your relationship, you can prevent the dynamic from becoming one of dependence and obligation. Remember, true connection is not measured by physical proximity, but by the quality of the interactions and the mutual respect that underpins them. The risk of re-entering a shattered past. There's a painful truth that many of us come to understand only after experiencing deep betrayal. Sometimes revisiting the past is not the path to healing, but the doorway to renewed pain. When someone betrays you, whether it is a close friend, a trusted relative, or even a lifelong partner, the act of betrayal shatters the foundation of trust that you once built with them. That betrayal is not merely a mistake. It is a deliberate, calculated choice that reveals their true priorities and values, leaving an indelible mark on your heart. In the aftermath of betrayal, the human mind yearns for closure. We convince ourselves that if we revisit the past, if we attempt to reconnect with those who hurt us, perhaps we can rewrite the narrative, mend the broken pieces, and find some semblance of resolution. But time, as we know, does not alter the truth of those painful moments. It merely lays bare the lasting consequences of betrayal, revealing that the wounds inflicted are not easily healed by mere nostalgia or misplaced forgiveness. Returning to the home, or the life of someone who has betrayed you, is like stepping back onto a battlefield where old pains and unresolved conflicts collide. It sends an unspoken message that their betrayal, regardless of how deeply it hurt, did not truly cost them anything. This, in turn, gives them permission to repeat their actions, to believe that the past can be erased without consequence. The danger in revisiting these wounds is that it may reopen them, leaving you vulnerable to further harm. No matter how much you might want to believe that people can change, or that time heals all wounds, the reality is often harsher. When you allow yourself to be drawn back into the orbit of someone who betrayed you, you risk losing the hard-earned wisdom that came from that experience. You risk letting go of the boundaries you set, the lessons you learned, and the self-respect you fought so hard to build. The only person you have the power to save in such circumstances is yourself. By keeping certain doors firmly closed, you protect your future from the recurring echoes of a shattered past. It is not an act of cruelty to refuse a second chance to those who have already shown you their true colors. It is rather an affirmation of your own worth, and a commitment to preserving your dignity. Allowing someone back into your life after they have betrayed you does not guarantee healing. It often only opens the door to further wounds. True strength lies in knowing when to let go, in recognizing that some betrayals are irreversible, and in walking away with your integrity intact. The cost of allowing toxic influences in our journey through life. We inevitably encounter people whose very presence can drain our energy, distort our perceptions, and rob us of our peace. These individuals are not merely nuisances, they are toxic influences that, if left unchecked, can sabotage the life you have worked so hard to build. In your later years, when time and energy are far more limited, you must be exceptionally discerning about who you allow into your inner circle. Imagine the cumulative effect of constant exposure to toxicity. Every interaction with a negative person, someone whose very being is saturated with despair, cynicism, or self-pity, chips away at your resolve. It is as though you are slowly being leached of your vitality, your joy, and your ability to see the beauty in the world. This is why it is essential to identify and cut out toxic influences before they have the chance to undermine your well-being. For instance, consider the impact of being around individuals who never celebrate your successes, who focus solely on what is lacking, and who find solace only in complaining about the world. Their unyielding negativity can infect your own mindset, causing you to doubt your worth and question whether your own dreams are attainable. In the silent, cumulative effect of such encounters, you may begin to lose sight of the vibrant, hopeful spirit that has carried you through life. Protecting your mental and emotional space is not merely an act of self-care, it is a necessity for maintaining your overall quality of life. To safeguard your peace, you must set firm boundaries and be willing to walk away from relationships that drain you. This is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about choosing to invest your time and energy in relationships that nurture your spirit and encourage your growth. It means embracing the hard truth that some people, no matter how much you may care for them, are simply not conducive to your well-being. As you look around at the tapestry of your life, consider the legacy you want to build in these precious later years. A legacy defined not by the number of people you've kept close, but by the quality of the connections you maintain. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift you, who inspire you to be the best version of yourself, and who recognize the immense value of your time and energy. By doing so, you create a sanctuary of peace, a life filled with dignity, joy, and the promise of a fulfilling future. Embracing a future of self-respect and purpose. Now let us turn our focus inward. In a world where you have given so much, it is vital to reclaim the power of your own time and energy, and to invest in your future with unwavering self-respect. Your later years are not a time for regret, bitterness, or self-pity. They are a time for reflection, renewal, and intentional growth. First and foremost, understand that your time is the most precious currency you possess. Every minute you spend with someone who drains your spirit is a minute lost. Minutes that could be invested in activities that enrich your soul, nurture your passions, or simply bring you joy.
Guard your time with the ferocity of someone who knows that every moment counts, for it is these moments that collectively shape your legacy. Embrace the pursuit of your own interests and passions. Rediscover hobbies that once brought you joy, or explore new endeavors that challenge your mind and body. Whether it's reading, traveling, learning a new skill, or simply spending quiet moments in nature, these pursuits are not mere distractions. They are essential for your personal fulfillment and growth. By dedicating time to yourself, you reinforce your sense of independence and remind yourself that your worth is not defined solely by your relationships with others. Invest in your physical and mental well-being too. Prioritize a balanced lifestyle that includes regular exercise, nourishing food, and ample rest. Incorporate practices such as meditation or mindfulness into your daily routine to maintain clarity and emotional stability. As you care for your body and mind, you are not fighting against the inevitable effects of aging, but rather honoring the vessel that has carried you through life's many challenges. Developing self-care practices also means cultivating relationships that are truly reciprocal. Seek out friends, mentors, or community groups that offer genuine support, joy, and inspiration. These are the connections that will sustain you when others fail to do so. Relationships based on mutual respect, shared values, and a deep understanding of life's complexities. By surrounding yourself with positivity and genuine care, you create an environment where your spirit can flourish and your inner light can shine bright. As you build this network of support, always remember that self-respect is the foundation of true happiness. No one can force you to accept negativity or drain your energy without your consent. Stand firm in your values, maintain your boundaries, and be willing to walk away from relationships that do not honor your worth. In doing so, you not only protect your emotional well-being, but also inspire others to respect and cherish you. In the quiet moments of reflection, allow yourself to acknowledge the strength and resilience that have carried you through your life. Every challenge, every setback, every betrayal has contributed to the person you are today, a person capable of profound wisdom and boundless love. Your journey, with all its twists and turns, is a testament to the power of self-preservation and the importance of investing in your future. Celebrate the growth that comes from hardship, and let it propel you forward into a future filled with hope, purpose, and enduring joy. 7. Conclusion: a legacy of dignity, respect, and enduring joy.
In closing, understand that your later years are a sacred time, a time to honor all that you have built, the relationships you have nurtured, and the wisdom you have earned through experience. It is a time to fiercely guard your most precious resource, your time, and to ensure that every moment is spent in ways that enrich your life rather than deplete it. The 8 types of people we discussed: the eternal victim, the manipulator, the energy vampire, the false friend, the chronic complainer, the user, the narcissist, and the time waster, are not mere labels but powerful forces that can either rob you of your peace or propel you toward a future of dignity and fulfillment. Choose wisely who you allow into your inner circle. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, who inspire your growth, and who share in your vision of a life filled with joy, purpose, and self-respect. Your time is not just a measure of minutes and hours. It is the very essence of your life. It is the canvas on which you paint your legacy, the currency by which you invest in your future, and the light that illuminates every path you take. Do not waste it on those who do not appreciate it or who drain you with their negativity. Instead, invest it in relationships, pursuits, and self-care practices that honor the person you have become and the potential that lies ahead. As you continue on this journey, may you have the wisdom to recognize the value of your time, the strength to set firm boundaries, and the courage to live fully, embracing every moment with a deep sense of gratitude and purpose. Let your life be a testament to the power of self-respect, the beauty of independence, and the enduring joy that comes from living authentically. May you always choose to surround yourself with those who value and respect you, and may you reclaim every precious moment as a gift that you spend in service of your highest self. Remember, your legacy is not defined by the number of people you have known, but by the quality of the relationships you have nurtured and the peace with which you have lived. Guard your time, honor your energy, and invest in your future with unwavering commitment. For in the end, your life's true wealth is measured not by what you have accumulated, but by how wisely you have spent the moments that were yours. Thank you, and may you always live with dignity, respect, and an unyielding joy that lights up every room you enter.